With a background in the monster truck world, you would expect a golf cart to look like this.
GolfCartingTV is your inside source for the coolest upgrades, mods, and accessories to take your trusty golf cart from drab to fab.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to GolfCartingTV. My name is Matt with Converted Carts. Glad to have you back here today. Today we've got an amazing episode with, I think, the largest golf cart we've ever seen, and I think you're going to love it. This guy was a monster truck driver in his past life and built this cart basically to mimic that world. So got quite a show for you. But first, let's say thanks to our sponsor, Bolt Energy. Bolt is a maker of high-quality lithium golf cart batteries, and you've got to experience this power behind these lithium batteries from Bolt. BoltEnergyUSA.com. All right, so let's jump in with Bud down in Kentucky. All right, well, thanks, Bud, for joining us here this morning. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where you are, what got you into this whole golf cart thing, and then we'll take a closer look at your cart.
All right, well, I'm in Hudson, Kentucky. That's about the middle of Kentucky. And I was into monster trucks. I did a lot of shows and events for monster trucking and a little bit of shows for mud bogging. And I sold my monster truck. I built one, big four-door Ford. It stood 13 foot at the roof. And
Wow.
I sold it to a friend of mine because the funds got tight. It cost a lot of money to build toys. And he had this golf cart, and it was all pretty beat up and worn out. It was built in 2002 by a monster truck team. I believe it was El Toro Local for Monster Jam. That's what the word was. And it needed completely rebuilt. It had a lot of things wrong with it, too. So I bought it from him, and I've been rebuilding it for about a year now.
Got it. And what's the base of the cart itself?
It's a Toyota. It's a 1985 Toyota pickup truck, motor and transmission and transfer case. And it has 85 Toyota 8-inch axles in it. And
it's on a club car. It's on a club car.
It's a completely custom tube chassis.
Okay.
And it's I believe it's an 85 club car body, but there's two bodies put together because the center, the motor is in the center, so it needed two seats put together.
That's awesome. Cool. So, Bud, why don't you show us a little bit about this cart? This thing is pretty crazy. I've seen it driven up on top of cars even. So with that mud bogging and monster truck background, I assume that's what led you into this thing, huh?
Oh, yes. Well, I believe it's a 85 club car body. It's actually two bodies. You can see the center seats is stretched out, so that's where the motor sits in the center. It weighs 3,400 pounds, and it's almost dead even on the front wheels and rear wheels. And it drives pretty good that way because it's all center weight. It's a little tricky on about 45 miles an hour. It gets a little swirly on the road. It's 100% road legal. It has plates and insurance. It's a 1985 Toyota 22R engine. You can see it up under there. And its stock, I believe, is 185 horsepower. And I'm going to put a T4 turbo on it next. So they told me it'll be about 350 horsepower. And it's got 4-link suspension, coil-over shocks. It's got 38.5-inch super swampers on it. But I'm going to go up to 40-inch. Because these old school rims, you can't see the wheel lights on the inside, so I'm going to go with a new open wheel, 20-inch with 40-inch tires.
And that whole side step thing, that's all custom fab?
Yeah, every inch of it is.
So tell me, so you said that those two seats in the middle are actually two carts basically pulled together to make one long, giant cart.
Yeah. It was one of them.
And you got cup holders and everything, it looks like, in that center pole?
Yeah, that's a cup holder. A lot of people like it. They say it's a dancing pole, but it's not.
Does that also help support the top? Is that part of its role?
Yeah, that's part of the roof support too.
Got it. So are those two tops put together as well?
I really don't know where they got the top, because I got to come up with something different. That top's old and it's getting pretty fragile. And when I twist the cart, it cracks all the time.
And so what was done to it before you got it, and then what have you done to it yourself?
It was about like this, but it was all beat up and rusty, and I tore it down, completely painted the chassis, and then I went with the red, white, and blue theme. You can see the back of the engine up there, the transfer case. It's got a big stereo system. It had I had 3,500 watts, but I smoked it over the weekend, so I got that all tore out. You can see to move these seat belts. You can see down in there. This is where the subwoofers and the amps were, but now you can see the transfer case, transmission, back of the motor.
Got it. So you literally had an issue with it over the weekend, and that.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people partying, some patriots, so I had to crank the stereo, and it overheated and went up in smoke.
Yeah. And where do you use it? Do you have land yourself? Do you take it to events, or what do you use it for?
Yeah, I go to all events I can find. I've been touring with Marty Brown, that country singer. He won America's Idol, I think 2015. And I've been going to his events, and he loves this thing. We get on it and go around singing and go right through the middle of town.
That's cool. Very cool. We've done a great job. This was really, really cool.
A lot of people don't consider it a golf cart, but I do.
Yeah. Well, it's got the base, so you can see it looks like probably a DS. I know you said an 85, so it's probably an 85 Club Car DS. It looks like the front end.
Well, that's good, because I have no clue.
Yeah. Merged with a couple other pieces, a little Frankenstein, but it's pretty cool how you put it all together.
Yeah, the motor sits on the engine, transmission. The radiator for the transmission and rate on the motor sit right here on the side panel. You can see them little holes, and then it's got a grating up here, and it's got a big electric fan on it, on a thermostat.
That's awesome. And you said 45 miles an hour is how fast it gets up to?
It'll go a lot faster, but it gets pretty squirrely at 45.
Okay.
It's got a tack, get all the gauges, turn signals.
I'm amazed at. I'm not technical, so when I see folks who can do this kind of stuff, it's quite impressive to me for sure. I'm sure it is to people watching also, but for somebody like me especially, it's just I have no idea when it comes to that stuff. So it's very cool.
It's got I had 12 6-inch speakers, no 10, and then two 6x9s in the back, and it's got two 12s in the center seat.
Awesome, bud. Well, thank you so much for coming out and joining us today. You got a really cool cart there. Appreciate you taking the time to show it to us.
All righty, thanks.
It's exciting to see that type of stuff. I have mentioned this before. I am not a technical guy, and so seeing all the technology and ability of these guys to be able to build these things is just way over my head. So it's way cool to see. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this thing with anybody you know that likes golf carts and maybe likes monster trucks as well. Hope to see you back here next week, Wednesday at noon. We drop a new episode. See you then.